Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to week 3 of year number 2 of the 915 High School Football Insider Show. To my right, I have Mr. Brent. To my left, I have Mr. Mario. Let's start with our game of the week, fellas. We got the 2-0 Pebble Hills Spartans versus the 1-1 Eastwood Troopers. Last year, the result, Pebble Hills handled it pretty good, coming up with the win against Eastwood 40-22. This year, Eastwood returns 5 seniors at the offensive line, which is tremendously impressive, especially for a quarterback like Evan Minjarez and Mad Max Mancia, who's little, but he ain't easy to tackle. I know that for sure. And a new offensive weapon in wide receiver Rudy Garcia, who is also a standout wrestler as well for the Eastwood team, and they're led by Isaac Alvidrez with 10 tackles a game. Let's talk about Pebble Hills and then talk about the Pebble Hills side, Mario.
So Sparta's gonna counter with obviously Gael Ochoa. You got Coros, Torres, Wallace. You know, on the defensive side, you got Jaramillo. You know, that's leading. You know, with all those tackles, you got Jaques, Parra holding down the front. These guys are stacked on the defensive side the way they are on the offensive side. However, how do you see it?
So the big matchup I want to look at is the ability of Gael to get to the edge against Conrad Joseph, the stud defensive end from Eastwood. I'd like to see if he's able to contain his side of the field and kind of limit the rushing attack of Pebble Hills and force him one direction. That is a very interesting matchup that I want to see and see how Conrad stands up to the offensive line of Pebble Hills and the rushing attack of Pebble Hills as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's good you mentioned about the rush attack from Pebble Hills because seeing Mr. Quarles, people, they talk about Eastwood, but their run defense, this and that. I guess the thing is to see how they try to attempt to stop Gael and Quarles and company, especially with Quarles coming downhill. I think we could agree that's a grown man running the football.
He's a low for sure.
So and then with Gael's shiftiness, and they got that massive offensive line ahead of them, who we see could wear down teams in the second half, has been shown their first 2 games.
What's impressive to me is Eastwood returning 5 linemen. You got Minjarez back there, and from what I was seeing, kinda, I'm not throwing it out there entirely, but Sparta secondary is a little bit, on that. Sometimes they can be caught sleeping, So I want to see how that holds up. I'm not making a pick yet, but that's what's interesting to me.
I tell you, you definitely have the case of you have 2 dynamic wide receivers, man, 2 true dual threat quarterbacks with Evan and Gael. Now Gael gets a lot of the publicity sometimes, and rightly so, because of the success he's had going all the way back to a freshman. But I tell you what, as soon as Evan hit the field last year, the dynamic playmaking ability was immediately evident. Some of us have been seeing it all the way back to when he was an 11-year-old and a 10-year-old in the youth leagues, and he's always been that way, to where whether it's passing on the ground, doing whatever you need to have a kid do to win the game, he's always been that guy. And I tell you what, I'm really excited to see how he performs in this game as well against Pebble Hills.
Yeah, definitely. I think the big question for me is who's gonna slow down Marcus, and when they find a way to slow him down, who's gonna slow down Amari Wallace? He found the end zone last week. He found his groove, and let's say everything that gets thrown to him, he catches it, and the ups that he has is tremendous, as in getting up for the football. I don't know who Eastwood has in the backfield. I know of one kid, 2 of them actually, that they have back there. One of them is Cam Mason, and the other one is Jaden James. So I know of them 2 that's over there at Eastwood in the backfield as well. But it's going to be, I would like to say a defensive battle for sure. But let's go ahead and pick the winners of this game.
Let me help you. Alex Sanchez, big 6'2".
Alex Sanchez, safety, right?
Receiver.
Yeah.
Okay. We're talking about secondary or
both.
Oh,
So
yeah.
So you got
number 88.
Alex Sanchez as well. Kid that was a defensive end, that was madman off the edge and grew into a receiver who was a receiver already, but grew into it as he got into high school. and it exceeded very, very, very well.
So I'll start off with my pick. I think Pebble Hills is gonna win. I believe they win because both have stunning offenses. I just think that Pebble defense is gonna crank it up. I think I pissed them off last week. My daughter kicked me too, so I'm gonna take Pebble Hills.
Brett?
All right, I'm a man of my word. So last week, I chose poorly. And life's about decisions, and when you make decisions, there's definitely there's impacts, man, to yourself and others when you pick wrong. So I picked wrong last week. I picked against Pebble Hills. I don't think I'm making that mistake right here. So let me get it. I don't know. This shirt looks kind of small, but I'm putting it on anyway. Hey, if I put this thing on and go into cardiac arrest, let's get 911.
Lee Corso.
Dialed up, okay. Hey, smells like Ben's cologne a little bit. That's definitely Cool Water cologne right there from 1999. But I tell you what, it's official. I'm gonna go Pebble Hills this week. I think it's gonna be a close one, but I just think the experience that Pebbles Hills team has going back to last year and the way they started strong this year, I think it's just gonna be a little bit too much. But as always, like Pebble Hills did last week, please prove me wrong, Eastwood, and I'll throw an Eastwood shirt on next week. But I learned my lesson against Pebble Hills last week against Del Valle. I won't go wrong this week. What do you got, Trey?
You know my pick. I got Pebble Hills. I don't want to say convincingly because you still got someone like Evan Minjarez on the other side that could just take over the game by himself. But I'm gonna definitely take Pebble Hills over this one. And my reason being is because I don't know what Eastwood's defense has, and up front wise, I think Pebble Hills is gonna match up better on both sides of the ball up front, and that's where they're gonna win the game. All right, so that's our picks. We got a clean sweep for the Pebble Hill Spartans. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our sleeper game of the week down at Sunbow Stadium. The West Side Bowl has been going on for years with the Franklin Cougars, who are 2-0, going up against the Coronado Thunderbirds, which Coronado will be the home team this year. It's gonna be Coach Price, second game coach of the West Side Bowl as a head coach for Coronado. He played it in for 4 years over there. This would be his second year. Last year, Franklin handled Coronado pretty well, 57-23. And last week, Franklin came off of a pretty solid win against Andres. And Coronado lost a close game to Canutillo. Let's talk about the game before we make our picks, right?
So, I tell you, this one is a little bit interesting. I think Coronado was really close. I watched them week 1 against Chapin. They're definitely impressive. I can tell you this, you won't look at a Coronado game and come away from that game getting the impression that they're not a well-coached team.
Right.
You could definitely tell a Coach Pry is definitely taking care of business and living up to his end of the deal. I think last week, I think the stage might have just been a little bit too bright. It came up just a little bit short on a couple plays. But I tell you what, those are those type of plays that a ball bounces this way or that way, and they take a big win and they're 2-0, and I think it's going to be close. But I really think if Coronado wants to take a win, they're really just going to have to have a lot of breakout games from all these athletes that are just kind of, because they got some studs over there with good size, good speed, but it seems like they're just kind of all almost about to have a breakout game. And I think to win against a team like Franklin, I think they're going to have 2 or 3 of those guys have big games. I don't know. I'm still on the fence right now. I don't know if they can do it. But I think they just need 2 or 3 guys to come out and say, hey, I'm not going to be close. I'm going to have a big game. And I don't know that that's going to happen against Franklin. That's a tough order, man.
Mario?
When I was a kid, way back when, there was this quarterback, Omar Duarte, stellar quarterback over at Franklin. I thought he was everything. He went and played at UTEP. Shea Smith might just go down as the most decorated Franklin Cougar of all time. Coronado has not won the West Side Bowl in 5 years at least, something like that, right?
I think it's more, but
Might be more. But I believe Coach Pry is going to be the difference. I believe Coach Pry's got these guys going in the right direction. I think these guys are buying in. He rubs me a little kind of like Coach Feliz a little. He's got that little way of motivating and getting these guys to buy in So I really like what he's doing out there. So that's where I'm at so far.
Okay, you know, I'm a big fan of Coach Pry. You know, when he was at Franklin as offensive line coach, I played against him. We've always has had a good relationship. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Franklin Cougars here. That's because of better quarterback play, like you said, with Chase Smith, possibly one of the best Cougars to ever go down decorated, especially at quarterback as well. And people sleep, but he's actually a really tremendous linebacker as well.
I tell you something. I agree 100%. And you know, the funny thing is, when you say, hey, all these guys from Coronado have to have breakout games, an average game for Chase Smith is a breakout game for the average quarterback, for the average athlete. That guy does so many phenomenal things, and I agree with you. I think that's going to be I think he's going to be the big deciding factor, and I think that he'll also, this is just going to be a little bit too much. I agree, and I'm going to take Franklin as well.
Yeah, I think that's just the biggest thing is that, you know, everybody questioning who's Shea going to throw the ball to. Post Sparks is over there. Shout out to Post Sparks, by the way, killing it at Utah Tech.
Got his first touchdown of many. Congrats, Bo.
Tremendous job. But you know, who are we going to throw the ball to? But Shea finds a way. Shea does Shea things, which is go find a way to get the ball in the end zone, and he does that. And that's something that you can't count out. He's in the argument as the best quarterback in El Paso, one of the best in West Texas for sure. You know, that battle's going to go down 6. They got 4 tremendous ones, and he's one of them. So I think that's definitely one of the things. But, you know, I'm going to take Franklin and that young defense that flies around the field, led by JB. They fly around the field, and I just think they're going to be a little bit too much. Coronado's going to play hard, but Franklin's going to pull away in the second half.
And again, you always got the opportunity to prove us wrong, and we'll eat crow out here.
Please do, Coach Pry. You know I love you.
Hey, but I agree. I'm taking Franklin as well.
I'm gonna be the lone wolf. And I'm gonna tell you why. I think Coach Pry gets these guys motivated. I think Franklin drops the ball, being one of those rivalry games. Sometimes, you know, you shouldn't have to be motivated to that, but I think just the mere fact that Franklin has won so many in a row, I think they get caught slipping. So,
All right.
Coronado in a very tight game.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to go ahead and begin with our game of the week, which is going to be the Pebble Hill Spartans against the Eastwood Troopers. Before we start to talk about that, we got 2 of the key players on their team. We have starting middle linebacker Dorian Jaramillo from Pebble Hills, and last game against Del Valle, he racked up a total of 9 solo tackles with 6 assists, with a total of 12 with 2 TFLs and 1 sack. At that game, he was ever on the field to show his leadership. And then we have a starting quarterback from Eastwood High School, Mr. Minjarez. And last game against Cruces, right? I believe Cruces. He was 18 of 27 in the air with 304 yards with 3 touchdowns. 10 carries on the ground, 62 yards with 3 touchdowns as well. And so far this year, he's racked up a total of 720 yards. So ladies and gentlemen, Dorian Jaramillo from Pebble Hills and Evan Minjarez from Eastwood High School.
Welcome to the show, guys. Hey, so I want to ask this question to both you guys because I know both you guys have been very busy. What did the offseason look like for both you athletes this year? Go ahead first, Evan.
Well, it started off with team bonding. I want to, I guess, state my leadership this year for sure. So, I threw passes with my guys all season, and we went to a training. We were lifting every day, and yeah, it really helped our guys. So yeah.
Okay. What about yourself?
Well, in the off season, I had gotten a quad injury from the spring, so I was just trying to rehab that and get on my strength and my speed, just to get back as soon as possible, and just working out every morning and 3 days a week, going with a strength coach and just working on explosiveness and speed and stuff like that. Just trying to get right for the season.
Okay, great.
So one of the things I wanted to ask both of you, a little off topic. I know we tried to say whatever happened last year stays last year. You guys had some major games. Some of you guys had Permian, you guys had South Lake, Carroll, whatnot, and you guys performed really well. What did you guys learn from those experiences? I guess I'll start with you, Jordan.
Well, I learned that no matter how big the moment is, you just gotta step up, be with your guys, and work together. Permian was a tough team. Everyone had his pits and lose, but we just believed in ourselves and watched film and just went out there and played.
That's Evan.
Oh yeah, it's always great, playing a big school like South Lake Carroll, the Byron Nelsons of the world. So it really just gets us ready for playoff time. Starting off the first game with South Lake Carroll. Obviously we don't go out scared, and it really just shows like what kind of team we are, what kind of I guess like what kind of team we are, how we bounce back from adversity.
Yeah. And resiliency, that says a lot about a team for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I say, what's, I guess for each of you guys, what's two individual goals you guys have for the season as well as a team goal?
Individual, I would like to, I guess solidify myself as the best quarterback to ever come out of Eastwood High School. For sure, that would be like, a great goal. But to do that, I would have to, I would want to rack up 4K passing yards, as well as 1,000 rushing yards.
Solidify a true dual threat.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at it right here, 720 after 2 games. You're well on the way, so I gotta admit. So if 4K is the goal, I think you're on what a lot of people refer to as the glide path to get there for sure. Rushing as well, and I mean last week 3 touchdowns on the air and on the ground. That is impressive. So I think that goal is very attainable. What about yourself, Dorian? What are you looking at individually as your goal this season?
Well, 2 individual goals for me would be just to rack up more tackles. I had 114 tackles last year, set a single season tackle record, and I'm hoping for at least 120. And with the rate I'm on right now, I should shatter that. And another goal would be to get a couple interceptions and passes defended.
You got hands like that?
We'll see.
Okay. So here's one thing. A lot of times we like to talk about the things we're good at, but I know as you guys are students of the game. What are 2 areas that each of you guys looked at and said, you know what, this is an area that I can get better at, and I do need to get better at? And what are some of the things you did this off season to get better at those things that you identified you need to work on? What did you identify, Dorian?
Well, the first thing was just sideline to sideline tackling, just getting faster to be able to beat those guys to the edge and make those big plays. So just working on speed. And another one was just coverage, just showing that I'm not just a run defender, that I can cover some passes too. So just working on hips, footwork, and just speed.
If I had to guess, sideline to sideline, that angle adjusts the further you get away from El Paso, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah, I thought so. What about yourself, Evan?
It would definitely be to stay composed in the pocket, and try to just avoid sacks. Work on my scrambling ability, which I have gotten better. I have yet to take a sack this season. So
Okay.
Yeah. And what I did to accomplish that is me and my brother would go to the park, and he would act as a DN, and I would just work on my scrambling, and so I believe that worked.
I know you, brother. That's a pretty swift DN right there.
Yeah, it is.
All right, honestly, how many times was he getting you?
I say like twice the whole.
Oh, twice the whole. Okay, only 2 times. Only 2 times. Pretty impressive, man. Hey, that's good stuff, guys.
So to stay on topic, one of the things that we've been asking some of the guys that have been here since it's still a little early in the season is, what kind of camps did you guys attend over the summer, of any, to kind of stay on track or put yourselves out there so other schools can also moving on to the next level, since both of you are clearly headed that way?
Well, due to the small injury I had, I wasn't able to attend any camps because I don't want to go to a camp and not be able to perform at my best. So just trying to heal up. So this year I'll definitely be attending some camps.
Oh yeah, tape talks for itself, so it's good to rest up,
Only a sophomore, was last year. Now he's a junior, so
That's
time.
good, yeah. You got the great size too.
Yeah, of course.
Evan?
I went to every college camp, where I had a relationship with the coach somehow, where they're inviting me. So yeah, I went to quite a few, and they're still in touch with me and just waiting out throughout the season. And,
Which camp do you feel like you had your best performance at?
Texas State for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good. So I think I'm gonna have just because I'm a wrestler myself, so I'm gonna go ahead and go over Dorian. What is the one thing that wrestling transitions over into the sport of football and football into wrestling?
Definitely tackling and toughness. So from wrestling, we work a lot on changing levels and just taking people down, and you just gotta be tough to battle it out for 6 minutes. So that definitely translates to football, just tackling and toughness.
And are you a two-sport athlete or
Basketball and track.
basketball? Okay.
Oh, 3-sport, okay.
Okay, and the court, you know, Eastwood always has a good basketball team. What's it like using that, you know, that footwork and whatnot to help transition into football? And
I would say like aggressiveness and using my body because you know I'm like a slasher, so you know I tuck the ball and I go like that and I finish up. So yeah, just toughness.
All right, so I know both you guys were involved in youth football. Were you guys youth football teammates at one point?
Yeah, I think
We were.
I thought so. I remember you guys played on the 13U Bandits. Okay, I thought so. So tip of the hats to those guys. I remember the year you guys were on it. You guys were runners up in the nation, correct?
Yep.
All right, good stuff, man. We always like when people put on for El Paso. Congratulations to both you guys on that front. And you guys got any more questions?
Yeah, I just want to keep, you know, everyone's so tense. I want to know what's the pregame ritual,
There
man.
it is. There it is.
You know how it goes.
pregame
What-
ritual. What you got? What you got?
Pregame
Dorian?
meal, pregame song.
Well, as far as ritual, I mean, there's nothing crazy. I wear the same clothes every game day, wear the same headphones, drink the same stuff.
What do you eat? Pre-game.
It depends. It changes. My go-to is either Taco Bell or Panda Express.
Taco Bell. That's fire.
What song? What
I'm
song?
not
I
linebacker
don't know
eating
how you
Taco
do
Bell.
it, but that's
Hey, Dorian said nothing too serious. Hey, the same clothes.
Same everything.
Hey, same steps from the front door to the car.
Put my
Hey,
socks
I
on,
clap
relax
the
your
same
leg.
amount of times. Hey, nothing too serious. I get it though. Hey, the rituals are important.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Evan?
You know, I'm the same way. I like to keep it light, you know, so I can feel light on my feet when I run. So I'll usually just eat like a piece of chicken or some ground beef. And yeah, that's really it.
Okay, both you guys are going light. All right, we got it. Salads, maybe shrimp cocktail or something. Okay, what are you guys doing after the game? What is it? Pizza, Whataburger? What is it? What is it, guys?
I mean, depending on the night, you know, if it's a win, you know, we go grub out, we go to, you know, Hooters, or like,
Okay.
you know, pizza.
too young for that.
So losers don't deserve wings. Is that what you're saying?
Not in my family.
Hey, it's okay.
It's all right.
It's okay to have standards and stick to them. And if losers don't deserve wings, then that's the standard. It's okay. What about yourself, Dorian? Where you going after the game?
It's always Whataburger Canes.
There you go.
Got a grill.
Whataburger Kings.
Okay.
Whataburger Kings.
There you
Okay,
go.
I think
I actually had a question for both of them. I'll go with you, Dorian. So, Pebble Hills, as we all know, it's kind of a new school. And I feel like last year, you know, the thing was first of many, making history, first district championship. You, as, you know, being the star athlete and just putting up the numbers that you have been putting up, is that something that comes to your head? Like, I want to leave my legacy here. Like, I want to make sure that they remember my name years down the line.
Definitely, you know, I had a historic season for the school last year. We have a little wall of fame that I'm already on,
Nice.
and I'm just hoping to build off that, just to solidify myself even more and be known as the best defender to ever come out of Pebbles.
That's cool. And then for
You, my
Ed,
guy?
actually, I had a question for him too. So, forgive me for my ignorance. Last year was like my first year really following high school football. So you were like a brand new guy to me. I'm sure to them, they knew you since you were younger. So when I saw like 7 TDs against Las Cruces, I was like, damn, I've never seen anything like that before. Not in El Paso. And so I was thinking, take me back to that moment when you were told that you're going to be the starting quarterback for a school like Eastwood.
Yeah, it was actually a 3 quarterback race. It was me and my boy Jace and Dorian, which is my second string right now.
Yeah.
It was a big race. Like I didn't know if I was gonna start until like 2 weeks before the season started, and yeah, I mean they pushed my butt off. I mean, you know, honestly, I owe a lot of things to those guys. You know?
Yeah, that's
$2
good.
weeks to get your mind right for South Lake Carroll.
So you were relieved when you found out, or were you
How
kind of
about
nervous?
that?
I mean, I kind of knew I was gonna.
You just knew already, yeah.
Yeah. I just,
Hey, you know
That's
the
good,
best
man.
thing about a race is winning it.
yeah,
That's it. Hey, there you go, man. Hey,
You won.
if it's a 3 quarterback race, it's good to be the winner. All right, hey, I
And wings,
appreciate
and
that.
wings.
And wings.
And wings.
All right. So I think you good. Good. All right. So here at the 915 High School Football Insider Show, I want to say we appreciate you guys for coming out. Wish you guys best wishes on Friday. You know, get after it, Evan. Get after it, Dorian. It's gonna be fun watching you guys get after it in the stands. Be those leaders for your teams as needed. You know, best wishes, safe travels, and good luck the rest of the season from us here at the 915 High School Football Insiders.
I'll be on the sidelines. I won Spartans had a contest to win sideline tickets. I won it because I guessed how many wins Coach Torres had. More than me. He's got more than me, so I will be on the sideline.
As far as I know. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and introduce our next spotlight player. It's coming from the 5A division, champion standout wide receiver Savion Jordan. His game 2 stats against El Dorado, he had 4 receptions, 116 yards with 2 touchdowns. And on the year, he has 165 yards with 2 touchdowns as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, number 0, Savion Jordan.
Welcome to the show, Savion. All right, hey, so tell us, man, I know you were busy this offseason. In addition to football, I know you were really busy in the offseason with basketball as well. So dip into a little bit of both of those areas for us. What did your offseason look like, man?
Really just like a bunch of conditioning, weightlifting for football, and then going to basketball practice when I can, tournaments on the weekends. Yeah, that's basically.
That's
For
good.
sure.
Well, while you're doing that, you know, and you're focusing on your game, what's that area that you're trying to improve on both, you know, basketball and football to help you get better for this season?
For football, I'm working on like speed, footwork, route running, stuff like that. And for basketball, I'm really just working on like shooting and ball.
Okay. You know, one of the things we kind of asked our athletes though is at the beginning of the year, you know, we saw that you were at a lot of camps, a couple camps. What kind of camps did you attend, and which one you feel like you stood out the most in?
I had went to a couple of Florida State camps, and I went to a UTEP camp. I think I stood out the most in the Florida State camp.
Florida State one? That's good, man. That's good.
And I tell you, that says a lot because you had a beautiful one-hand catch at the UTEP camp. So if you stood out more at the Florida State camp, that says a lot because I thought you did very well
You had a
at
beautiful
the UTEP
catch, and the
camp
whole
as well.
city of El Paso knew about it the next day on Facebook.
You did.
Shout out Pops.
Hey, so I tell you what, Coach Lewis, he's went on record as saying that you'll be the premier two-sport athlete in El Paso, and that man's word carries a lot. So let me ask you a question. What do you feel like is the one area of your game as a football player that you get the most from basketball in? Hey, is it the fades to the corner, the end zone, going up and getting big, when you need to for loose balls? What is it that you think translates the most for you as a football player from the hardwood?
I'm gonna have to say like jump balls in the end zone. It's like the same as like getting the rebound in the basketball game.
Okay, I definitely can see that, and that's definitely a big part of your game for sure.
So to me, I know you got Dorian, Brent Jr., and your tailback back there helping you out, making your life easier. You know, what exactly did it mean actually having them all come, and what did it mean to your growth as an individual athlete?
If you ask me,
So like having these guys come in, the threat that they pose, right? How did that actually help you grow as an individual athlete?
probably just like spreading out the defense more. They have to worry about like everyone else, not just me. So it, like in the long run, I guess it gets me like more looks, like more one-on-one looks and stuff like that.
Pick your poison and you're gonna kill them, right? Oh my goodness.
That's awesome. So I think one of those things of, you know, I thought you were a senior this year, and I found out you're a junior. And you know, already taking in that leadership. What's it like, you know, taking those guys under your wings, i.e. like as in Davion, knowing he's an underclassman under you, just making sure that he's always level-headed as well as the other guys around you.
I try to just keep the team like humble, hard working, make sure everybody's like working their hardest at practice and not giving up during the games, like when the games get hard.
All right, so take me through it. All right, you're getting ready for a game, Friday Night Lights. What's your routine like? What's your pregame meal? What music are you using to get ready for the game? What's it like?
I don't really have like a certain pregame meal.
Okay.
I just eat like whatever.
Just eat.
I usually just listen to music on the bus.
All right, what's the go-to song? What is it?
Love Sosa.
Chief Keef.
Okay. Again, I think
old school, but still goes
I think
hard.
it's back, and I think it's got to be in the 80th percentile right now for recommendations.
Chief Keef
So,
is the second. Chief
all right.
Keef.
Post game meal after the big win. Where are we going to?
After after the win, I'm probably going to like Whataburger.
My house to go to sleep. That's what I need.
Man,
I
you
ain't
know.
care about eating.
That's what we're asking him.
That's what we're asking him.
Hey.
What's the meal though? What's the meal?
I gotta get a number 2 with cheese.
Okay.
And get like a milkshake or something like that.
Which one?
I usually get like a strawberry one, but you know sometimes they be having the little.
The seasonal ones. The seasonal ones are good. Hey,
That
there's
banana
nothing
one
wrong
was
with it.
good.
Seasonal. Hey, you gotta get it sometimes, man. Hey, I tell you what, man. Savion, we really appreciate you coming out here, man. Hey, I know you're on a hot streak right now. You guys got a bye coming up, man. Coming up out of that, man. I know you're gonna continue to get hot and have a great season, man. We wish you nothing but the best over there with the Husky Nation, man. And again, we really appreciate you coming out, man. Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
for
It
coming
was,
and having us.
it was a pleasure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and finish this off with our last 2 Spotlight Athletes of the Week coming from the northeast of El Paso. From the Parkland High School, we have their starting linebacker, Juan Gomez, as well as their starting running back, receiver, whatever else they want to put him at, Anthony Carrillo. Starting off with Mr. Gomez to my left, last game against Austin, he had 19 total tackles, which is very impressive, 12 solos, 7 assists. He had 4 TFLs with 1 sack and 1 forced fumble on the year, which brings him to a total of 35 total tackles with 17.5 tackles per game. And Mr. Carrillo, who I saw personally beat El Dorado by himself, offensively I should say. He had against Austin had 14 carries, 157 yards, with 228 total yards coming on the year. Unfortunately, he did have a touchdown called back, but hey, you know that's one of many more to come that's actually going to count. So just want to say welcome to the show, you guys. Glad for you guys to be here.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
All right, hey, so I'll start off the question with a little bit of individual love, man. Like, right now, Juan, you're on pace for like 155 tackles, man.
Yes, sir.
That's a big number. But for yourself, what's a goal that both of you gentlemen set for yourself individually that you want to crush this year? Like number of tackles, yards, touchdowns. What did you guys set for yourself as a goal realistically for this last senior year?
So my goal for this year is to have 200 tackles or more.
Okay.
So that's the goal. I'm on a good pace to pass that, and I think I can make it happen.
If
Okay.
you get 200, you may go down as one of the best linebackers to ever come out of El Paso, dude. That's impressive.
What about yourself, bud?
I want 2,000 yards.
Okay. Hey, nothing big, just 2,000. All right. What else? Hey, how many touchdowns?
At least 30.
Okay.
Go get
Okay.
it. It's possible.
All right. Good stuff.
So I guess the same question. You know, you guys have big goals, right? And that's always awesome. That's the way to go. What was some of the things that you guys focused on in the offseason to help you guys reach these goals?
I think we just team bonded more this year. Coach Mack, he got us right. Because last year we didn't really have the time to do an off season because we had that coaching situation where Franz left and Mac showed up. But I think this year he got us right by just team bonding, everyone working consistently, and yeah, just working hard.
How about for yourself?
Yeah, this was our first offseason with the actual head coach, like a full offseason. So we really got that connection and we got that chemistry now. And we kept that going and we stayed consistent.
You know, stay with that, and I'm sorry to interrupt. How important is chemistry for you guys? Because you guys both kind of mentioned that.
I think it's important a lot because like when someone's down, you got to bring them up during the game, and it just works vice versa.
With no chemistry, there's no team.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then you know, it's good having a defense and an offensive player. You know, what's it like? You know, being a leader of your side of the ball and just of the team in general. What's it like accepting that role of leadership and not just showing it on the field with your play, because it shows, but also vocally, so those guys in the locker room buy into Coach Mack's system.
I think Coach Mack has really taught me to be a leader this year because, you know, he's a very good coach. Like, he came from a great program, so when he came here, he showed me how to be a real leader, just help my teammates, bring them up. Like, if they're down, lift them up, and that was pretty much it.
I love pushing people. Like, I love pushing them to the max and they become a better person, a better athlete.
And that's good, man. I hear you guys talk about like the roles you guys have done as leaders. And I say part of like being a leader is definitely identifying the parts of your game that you need to improve in, and then identifying things you need to do to improve in those areas. So what are two areas or area for each of you gentlemen that you identified as, hey, this is the area I need to get better in, and then what did you do to get better in it? I'll start with you, Anthony.
I would like to get better in my patience. I'm trying to hit the hole. I try to hit it fast. I want.
Hey, what is it? Slow to the hole, fast through the hole.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I know last year you got to be careful getting to that hole too fast with big guys like Tyrone.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to be tackled by your own player, especially when it's Tyrone McDuffie. So I understand that. What about yourself, Juan? What's an area of your game you wanted to improve
I think
in, and
just
how did you do it?
Just my pass coverage and like my man coverage. I really
Okay.
want to improve in that because big schools look for that. They look for a linebacker that can do everything.
Yeah, because a big thing about a linebacker is we want to be a 3-down linebacker. We don't want to be a run linebacker or a pass linebacker. You never want to come off that field, and you're definitely, with the pace for 155 tackles and a goal of 200, you definitely got to be on the field all 3 downs, and that's definitely the type of guy you are, man. So I can see that you've taken the steps to go ahead and get right in that area. That's good. So.
Anthony, how does it feel knowing that you have such a good defender and overall defense, on the other side of the ball to help you guys stay within games? How does that make you feel individually?
Feel confident. It makes me feel good to have trust in my team.
Same question for you, Juan, only opposite. You got this young gentleman, Anthony, over here, carrying the ball. Your offense is starting to, click at all points. How does it feel knowing that you have a good offense to rely on?
It feels great because practice we crack heads, but it's just making each other better. So when Tony has the ball, I have full confidence that he's gonna make a big play every time.
Outstanding.
That is awesome too. It's you guys are playing in a tough district. What's it like? Getting your guys ready to take on the task of Delvalle and even though they're and the other schools in the district. What's it like to take on that task to make sure that they're ready to play in those big games? Because everybody's goal is a gold ball, number 1 seed, home playoff game. What's it like to get there?
It's really hard though, because DB, they're like a dynasty. They've been building for years. So for us to come together and just work hard, I think we can make it happen. DB.
All right, and here's the last question I got for you guys, because I tell you what, man, everybody knows about Juan Gomez. Everybody knows about Anthony Carrillo. Hey, if each one of you gentlemen can tell me about a guy on each side of the ball that El Paso doesn't know about yet, but by the end of the season, we're definitely going to know about. I'll start with the defense. Who do we need to know about that we're going to know about this season?
Can I say 2?
Go for it, man.
I'm going to say Vince Hernandez. I've been playing with him since I can remember.
What position?
He plays outside, so
Okay.
he's like my right-hand man. I can always count on him to be there, make a play when I can't make a play, but I think he's going to stand out this year for sure.
All right, let's go. Who's the next one?
And I would like to say my little brother.
Got to. If you didn't, that'd be a crime.
He can play everything. That's what I can love about him. He's a smart learner. He's versatile.
All right, what position is he playing at right now? Where's he starting at?
Boy, he's starting at on the offensive side, really.
Okay,
But
okay.
He plays a lot about D lineman and sometimes linebacker.
All right, okay, check this out. He's a D lineman. You gave me a D lineman. You gave me another linebacker. Hey, let's go all 3 levels, man. Give me someone from the secondary. We need to know
Caleb
about.
Martinez.
Okay.
Dog.
Fair
like
enough.
guys I was gonna
Fair
say.
enough.
He's a dog.
Fair enough.
He's got that stay speed. He can come
Okay.
downhill.
All right.
Anything.
All right, Tony, go for it, man. Give me all 3 levels, man. Give me a guy from each level. The line, the backfield, and a wide receiver, man, that we need to know about right now from Parkland. Let's go for it.
The line, Bob's little brother.
Okay.
No one showed.
Okay.
Shows the line
Boom. There we go. Hey, you got to get the big dogs love, man.
Yeah.
Especially as a running back, man. Hey, those are the guys you got to take care of. All right, who's the wide receiver we need to know about, man?
I would like to say Jesse Molina.
Okay.
This is his first year in varsity. He did pretty good last year. Got his first touchdown and everything. He got pretty confident.
Okay. All right, boom. Give me another person from the backfield, man. Who's that guy that we're grooming? That hey, we're gonna see some flashes out of him this year. Not enough flashes that he takes over for you, but who are we really gonna be like, man? That's a guy I want to look at next year. Who are we gonna talk about?
Ferdy.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good stuff, man. Hey, I appreciate it, man. And again, because believe it or not, a big part of being a leader is grooming them guys to take over the program when you left, man. Because hey, when you leave, you don't want to. Hey, no one wants to go back and see that your team went 0-10. You know, so grooming those guys who are going to take over for you is a big part of being a leader. And I think Parkland and Coach McCord has got two good ones right here to set the tone for it. And we appreciate you gentlemen coming out, man.
I think the last question is our most popular question we ask the athletes: pregame meals and go-to song.
Every Friday, the whole football team goes to Chick-fil-A, so we grub out there.
What's your meal there?
Just regular number one.
And you?
The same thing,
Yeah.
number one. But I mean, you got to deluxe it. I
Got
want
to.
everything.
Got deluxe it. Clutch.
So y'all go to like the Chick-fil-A, like in the Northeast, right there off of okay, so I have to make a note of that for when y'all play Chapin, man. It'd be a shame if something happened bad to Chick-fil-A, man. I'm gonna take some notes down on that, man. All right, hey, what's the pregame songs, man? What are we getting hyped to?
Finito by Chief Keef.
Okay.
That's a go-to song for that.
My song's pretty old school. It's "I Gets High" by Mos Def.
Okay.
That's
Old
my
school.
song right there.
Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. If it gets you going, man, it gets you where you need to go, man. That's all we need to know, man.
And
How
both,
about-
go ahead, Mario.
No, how about after the game, after the big W, how you guys celebrate?
Sometimes we go to the shack, eat some wings, and just celebrate.
That's a good spot.
Okay, so we heard this earlier tonight. Are you allowed to get wings if you lose the game?
No.
Hey, wings are for winners, okay? Establish it again, man. Hey, if you got a program out there and you're allowing your teammates and yourself to go out and get wings after a loss,
So no go.
it's
don't
not a
fly.
recipe for success, man.
What happened
Period.
with Chico's after the games? That doesn't have
That's
happen.
it, man. Back when I played, it
Why-
was
why-
Chico.
that's probably what the South Side, brother.
That was pretty cool back in the
We'll get
80s.
some
man.
booty out here.
Man. All right, so fellas, we just want to say thank you guys for coming out. We wish you guys. Who you guys got this Friday?
Burgess.
Burgess. Okay, we wish you guys the best wishes.
Hey, real quick question. All right, I know we got Northeast Texas here for youth football. Who'd you play youth football for?
I played for the Panthers and the Bandits.
Okay, who came out with more W's on the end of that, man? For real? The vaunted double wing man of the Panthers. Were you the up back or you the running back?
I was a running back.
Okay, there's like 27 of them over there in Pantherland, man.
Hey,
so I
he beat me
believe
to it. He beat me to the quick shout out to Julian and Caleb. I know them forever. Just want to send a quick shout out to you guys. Fernie as well. He beat me to it. So thank you guys for coming on the show. Best of luck to you guys.
Thank you.
All right, good luck
sir.
this season,
Thank you
gentlemen.
guys
Thank
for
you.
coming out.
All right, boom.
So we're gonna go ahead and move on. We're getting close to the end of our show here for week 3. We're gonna go ahead and talk about this week's matchups starting on Thursday, September 7th. We already talked about our sleeper of the week with Franklin and Coronado. We're gonna go ahead and move on to El Dorado at Eastlake. Myself, as much as I love my alma mater, I'm gonna take the Falcons in this one.
Yeah, I think I definitely got to take my man Luke, QB1 over there. I think I'm going to take them over El Dorado. El Dorado's got some athletes. I just don't know what it's going to look like this week. They performed pretty well. They came out hot against Chapin. But I just think Eastlake's offense and defense is just going to be a little bit too much. I'm going to take Eastlake as well.
I have to agree with you guys. I think El Dorado is a little too young right now. They're playing with a lot of youth over there. So they're going to be very, very, very good in the near future. But right now, I think Eastlake, Junior Troutman, Mr. Romelli and company take care of business.
All right, and then we're moving on to our Friday slates. We've already talked about our game of the week with Pebble at Eastwood. We're going to go ahead and move on to the battle at the SAC. Another big rivalry game that's been going on for years. We got the Mountwood Rams going up against the America's Trailblazers. I got America's pretty solidified in this one.
I'm going upset alert on this one. I'm going to take Montwood. I'm going to take Montwood with the upset. I think the three-headed monster of Isaiah Claudio, Diego, and Southern is just going to be a little bit too much at those 3 levels for Americas. And I'm going to take Montwood. I'm not going to say by how much. It might be a close one, but I'm taking Montwood in this one.
A good matchup, Mr. Cameron Harrelson versus
Right.
Mr. LJ.
I think last year was 40-37 Americas.
Yep.
It
Last
came
year
down
was
to
a-
last
last
the
second
last
football.
play of the game.
Well, I think both of you guys are smarter than me, but I'm gonna take America's. I think Cam and company, the three-headed monster, is gonna do damage. I think it's not gonna be as close as it was last year. I think it'll be a little bit more.
Does that make me the lone wolf?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
I got in this game before.
All right.
Before we move on, I got Cam breaking 150 this game. Breakout, his first breakout game at the sack.
Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson.
They have a Cam too. My one has Cam Harrelson.
Cam Johnson. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun though. All right, moving on. We got Andres at Del Valle. DV big bounce back game. They're gonna show up against Andres.
Hey, I'm taking Del Valle, but specifically, hey, who from Andrews is playing around with Max Preps on the score, man, and gave y'all 45 points, man? Hey, man, I was proud of y'all, man. Then I found out
Me
it was a
too.
hoax, man. It was a goddamn hoax, man. That makes me mad, man. Del Valle ain't big, man. Big.
Until you test.
Del Valle big, man. You know, what can I say? I think they were very, very close with Sparta the first half. Second half was a different game, but I think these guys bounced back and take it out on Andres. I'm sorry, Andres. Del Valle big.
All right, Burgess at Parkland. Parkland.
Parkland.
All right, easy. Moving forward. San Elizario at El Paso High. El Paso High gets their first win of the year. I got El Paso.
Saying Eli's not playing where the mosquitoes are at, so I'm gonna take El Paso High as well.
El Paso High at home.
Boom.
Jefferson at Riverside. We know Mario, can't pick. I got Riverside.
Jefferson let me down against Bowie, man. I was supposed to have a Bowie shirt on as well.
Not Bowie. It was against Irvin.
Was it?
Yes.
Irvin.
Bowie's next week.
All right. I'm going Riverside as well.
All right, next we got Austin at Canutillo at the Smurf turf. Canutillo
Big time. It's
Big.
a homecoming.
homecoming. Canutillo big. I got Renee going for 4 touchdowns. And I think Lalo may be back. So you throw him in the mix, they're gonna win big.
It's gonna be a landslide. I'm gonna take Cantillo as well.
I'm going to take Canutillo, but not as big as you guys think. I think maybe 10, 14 points, not too big, you know. I think you guys are talking about maybe 20, 30.
I am.
Yeah.
I am as well.
I'm hoping also does some work, you know.
And next game on the slate, we got the Sled Indians down at the Res, traveling over to Oso Land at the Bowie Bears. I'm taking the Res until they prove me wrong. I know they lost last week at close one, but I'm gonna take them again over the Bowie Bears. Bowie, please prove me wrong. Oso.
I'll take his letter as well.
Oh! You know, I'm taking the south side. Bowie, I've been riding with you guys all year. You had that tough loss over with Hags. Don't make me look bad.
They won last week, right?
Bowie, yes, it
Yes,
is.
sir. All right, we're gonna move on to Hanks at Irvin. At the Northeast at Irvin, I'm gonna go ahead and take Hanks. Breakout game for Mr. Blanco again.
You know, thanks.
How can it be a breakout game again, man?
Again, does not make it.
Yeah, it's
That's
not a
nice
breakout
one.
game again. Man.
Either way, I got Hanks pretty big over.
Hey, somebody else will have a breakout game, but not again. But yeah, I'm gonna take Hanks as well, man.
Hags big.
All right, our next game is going to be Chaparral Lobos at Bel Air. Bel Air by a lot. Chris Davis gonna go for 200 in the first half.
Hey man,
He hasn't had a breakout game yet. This year he
again.
hasn't.
Well, if there's a team to do it against, it is Chaparral. Hey, do you know they do a running clock? If you play a New Mexico team, they do a running clock. They do a
In
running
New
clock.
Mexico though.
They do it in Texas as
Do
well.
they have a mercy rule?
They do, and they put their running clock on them. That shit does not stop. All right, yeah, definitely. I'll take Bel Air big, for sure.
Bel Air big. I'm sorry, Chaparral.
All right, our next game is gonna be the Anthony traveling to Hatch Valley, New Mexico.
We don't pick New Mexico.
I'm biased towards Anthony. My best friend's in DC. Got his first win last week, 46-7. Gave up a touchdown on the last play of the game. But my guy Mike Q, I'm gonna take Anthony here on this one.
Yeah, we don't pick New Mexico.
All right,
teams,
so it's
Wildcats.
clean sweep. Cathedral at Fabens. Coach LaVar, you gonna keep that train rolling? Got Fabens.
same.
Same.
All right,
Same.
gotta say
Same.
it's private school. Keep
Same.
quick, man.
I
Come on.
did-
Wait. The Irish have been known to play some ball here and there, just not since you've been here in El Paso.
Hey, man.
It's been a long time, man.
Hey, listen, since I was a young.
Hop in the Wayback Machine back when they were good. Yeah, okay.
And then we have Clint at Gaston. Again, that's in Mexico school. Clint.
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 All right, and then we got Mountain View at Seminole. I'm a big fan of West Texas football. I got Seminole in this one. I'm going to pick it against El Paso. I'm sorry, Mountain View, but
Mountain View is 2-0.
They're putting up numbers.
all right.
Well,
That's still not going to change my pick. I'm going to go Seminole.
Yeah,
Just wanna
I
let
think
them
I'm going out of town as well. I apologize, Mountain View. Hey, next time y'all see me, man, if y'all win, man, I'll throw a Mountain View shirt on, man. But I'm picking y'all to lose.
They got to take. I do hope Isaac has a great game, though. Valdez.
Mountain View.
He
I
usually
got you.
has one every weekend, man.
I'm taking Mountain View.
It's unfortunate they have to take that long 4 or 5 hour drive plus to go to Seminole. So,
Alright. Hey, we got the scores. Hey, let's go ahead and brush across some of these area week 3 top 12s. Hey, I think this is a El Paso area. That's Prep 1, right?
Yep.
Prep 1, our friends over at Prep 1, they do a great job. Great photos from all the games this weekend. Shout out to Prep 1. Shout out also to their photographers who do a great job out there. I think Pebble Hills is number 1 in almost every single top 10 we got. Save one. It's like a mathematical one.
El Paso Times has them at number 2. Pebble Hills.
we'll talk about
Who's
that
up?
right
Oh
now.
my goodness.
We'll talk
Okay,
about
so
that
they,
right now.
hey, some standouts here. First standout, they have 12 people on the list, and apparently that was just so we could get Chapin on the list. They put 12 on there. But yeah, seems like a legit list. Pebble Hills number 1. I don't got too many arguments with this one, guys.
Yeah, me neither. El Paso Times with Mr. Felix Chavez. He's been doing this for years. We got Eastwood at number 1. I only assume because of the strength of schedule I'm playing against South Carroll. Pebble Hills at 2, Eastlake at 3, Kennedy at 4, and rounding out the top 5, they got Franklin.
So I'm gonna go and talk about the West Texas rankings. We don't do too much West Texas, but some El Paso teams are on there. Pebble Hills is part of their number 3. You got El Paso Eastwood number 6, and you got your El Paso Franklin at number 9.
And you have Eastlake at number 7.
And did I miss them? Oh yes, I did. Eastlake at number 7. In the 5A class, they do have number 5 Canutillo and number 12 Del Valle.
Alright, so check it out. EP Gridiron. This is my favorite one. This is the mathematical one I talk about. Hey, I tell you what. Victor Boss, go ahead and keep on posting the results from every week. I tell you what, this thing is pretty damn scary close, man, with how close he's getting on most of these games. I think he only got 2 games wrong, and I think most of the games he got right, the mathematical formula ended up within like 2 to 3 points, man, on a lot of them, man. It's pretty scary, man. I like to follow it, man. I learned how to do the math last year. Of course, I'm old, so I forgot this year, man. I'm gonna do it again, man. But he was pretty spot on with most of the things, man. So it's a solid list, but it just kind of makes the games fun because you do the math for it and see where it shakes out and then look at the results, man. I'm not gonna lie, that part of it I pretty much enjoy, man.
Well, we can gamble some pizzas on it. You know? That's all.
And that's definitely cool. You know, as some of our people on Facebook, they wouldn't agree with these rankings because of how some schools are so low and some are so high. But hey, guess what? You're not doing it. He is. This is legit, Mr. Boss. Thank you, Boss Man. This is going.
And you know the thing about a list, man, you make a list, man, and somebody will be pissed off if they're not on it, man. And that's just how lists work, man. But it's not fair to not make a list, man, to tell somebody they're number 1 because you don't want to hurt number 2's feelings, man. So, but rounding out our top 10 rankings, man. Hey, we got Borderlands Sports, man. Again, they got Pebble Hills number 1, number 2 Eastwood. A couple big shakeups. I think Bel Air's at number 10. Chapin snuck into number 9. Hey, I'm hard on people I love, so I don't know if I agree with that, man. I think they should probably be on the outside looking in. But I don't see anything that I too much have a big problem with on this list either. But again, biggest thing about these lists, man, is they're 100% opinion.
Well, my whole thing with these lists is kind of like the West Texas list. You go 6A, you break that down. 5A, break it down that way. These are El Paso's list, and it kind of includes everybody all mixed together. We've all talked about how 6A and 5A and competing against each other is just such a big old mess, you know. So I like the way the lists are. Take it.
I honestly,
Take it for what it is.
I don't care, man. I'll be honest. If you are an athlete and you look at a list and you don't like it,
Do something.
go win on Friday. You know, if you're
Absolutely.
a parent, you don't like it, tell your kid, hey, go produce on Fridays, man. Because to be
Get that
honest,
extra work.
the list is just somebody making a list, and literally, or even more specifically, if you don't like the list, just write your own list and put it on Facebook, and then we'll talk about that, man, and agree with it or not agree with it. But
And we will talk about it.
hey, lists are dumb to me, man. Their opinions, man. hey, nobody can argue, man, if you score more points than the other team on Friday, man. That's the biggest thing to do.
All right. So now that we are good to go, got this settled in. We just want to wish here at the show best of wishes to all the athletes and the teams competing this week. We're going to be keeping a close eye on our two games of the week with Coach Torres' Pebble Spartans against Coach Lopez's Eastwood Troopers, as well as Coach Price, Coronado Thunderbirds up against Coach Walker's Franklin Cougars. So again, we'll keep a close eye on those. Just want to let everybody know this is what we came here to do: promote the kids, put them out there. You guys tune in. We now have a YouTube as well. Tune in on that. 915 High School Football Insiders, as well as our Facebook. Follow us on there, Instagram as well. If you guys have player shout outs, stuff like that, send them into our Instagram. Our guy's really good at pushing that out as well. And I want to give, always got to give a special shout out to my guy A-Rod, to his top 25 teams he had today on Facebook, and came at me for it. But hey, it's all good, man. Nothing but love. Can't wait to actually meet you in person. I don't think any of us have you met him in person yet?
Not that I know of, man.
No.
I did meet a guy at the SAC last year that had like the anonymous mask on, and I pictured that was him, but I'm not so sure that it was him. Hey, I'm telling you, I maybe it was him. But
all right. So hopefully that's not you, A-Rod, because we don't want you to be behind the keyboard typing up like that. But hey, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor again, Texas Lather. Check out his soaps. That'd be good for your husbands, your wives may appreciate it. And other than that, you guys have a blessed time. We'll see you guys next week. Don't mind the pin that just fell on the floor. I got too happy.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week on Tuesday. And we're looking forward to any of our